I'll be right back when I do.
Yeah, and it's still going right live through YouTube too. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nope, now it's buffering. Oh, there we are. Okay. Good evening. Let me start over. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of This Week Unloaded, the show where you never know what we are going to talk about. So far with us tonight on the panel, we have Mystic Guns. How are you tonight, ma'am?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
And then next we have the Steak Eater. Rob D, the New York Outcast. How are you tonight, Rob?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us.
And then next we have the Tired Carpenter, otherwise known as Jason Stewart. How are you tonight, other than tired?
I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for the invite, Rich.
Yep, no problem. And last but not least, at this point, we have Mr. Buck Stanley, the gun-loving grandpa. How are you tonight, Buck?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So tonight I thought we could talk a little bit about TV shows and movies with guns in them. You know, what ones you think are fairly accurate and what ones really go off the deep end kind of thing. So, anybody want to start and bring up any nominations for good ones that seem fairly accurate or as accurate as what you can expect from a movie or TV show?
I'm trying to think, Rich, something that's really accurate.
Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head. It's been a little while since.
Does
really
John Wick
anything.
John Wick count as accurate or is he inaccurate?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking your opinion on it. I mean, if you want to say John Wick, say John Wick and explain why. In your opinion, it's accurate. I haven't seen any of the John Wick movies. I can't stand Keanu Reeves acting, so I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, well, you would love John Wick because he doesn't do much acting. He just does a lot of shooting and killing.
He doesn't do a lot of acting when he is acting.
You didn't like Speed?
I watched Speed because Jeff Daniels and Dennis Hopper were in it.
I watched Speed. Cassandra Bullock was in it.
I was never big on Sandra Bullock. I never thought she was that great looking personally. But that's just me.
Oh, she looked good.
Oh, man. You see what Pittsburgh does to people?
I just never got the appeal. What was so great about her? I just never really did. Everybody talking about how great looking she is. Like, I don't see it.
All right.
She's not ugly or anything, but I don't think she's as great as what people make her out to be.
Okay, back to your question. I'll go with John Wick #1 and #2. And I'll say it's about as accurate as Hollywood gets because he does reload now and then, and his guns do go empty now and then. But so I'll go with that one for a pretty good one. Lots of action. He's like the king of double tapping you right to your forehead. I mean, just in the first movie alone, I bet he killed 50 people double tapping them to the head.
Alrighty. So, anybody else here seen that and want to back him up or dispute what he was saying? Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen any of them, any of the John Wick movies, so I can't really comment on those ones.
Never
Oh, go ahead.
I never watched any of them neither.
Wow, Jason, you're the only one here.
Oh, you guys are missing out on a really. Now, #3 I haven't seen. I heard it was pretty bad, but #1 and #2 are some pretty good movies, man. #1's the best, but you're missing out on some really good action. There's some comedy to it. Yeah, the first John Wick, man, that's a pretty good movie, man.
Yeah. Now, I got one that's probably going to shock the hell out of people on the accurate part, but they tested some of the shit they did in these movies on Hollywood weapons, and it is plausible that it can happen. And that's Rambo First Blood, the first one, First Blood, and Rambo First Blood Part 2. Some of the shit that not everything he did in those movies, but some of the stuff he did is actually possible to do. They actually recreated it on that show. If you haven't seen Hollywood Weapons, it's on the Outdoor channel. And I think they have it on Netflix, where they do like Mythbusters kind of things, but they're testing different firearms myths from movies and TV shows. Like in the scene in First Blood, where he leaks the trail of gunpowder and sets it on fire with a tracer round, they were able to do that on the show. And then in First Blood Part 2, where he's holding the M60 and he's with one arm and he's firing it and strafing it, somebody his size can actually do that. They demonstrated that, yeah, he would be able to mow down targets like he was in the movie with the M60. The guy that does all the testing is a former special forces operative, and the guy that supplies him with the weapons is Larry Zanoff. If you know who that is, he's the owner of ISS, which supplies all the major studios in Hollywood with weapons that they use in the movies, including the John Wick movies. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting show if you haven't seen that in and of itself, the Hollywood Weapons. And it's pretty interesting, some of the stuff they do on there. And then another one is Quigley Down Under. Remember this shot where Quigley's at 800 yards with his Sharps rifle and he shoots two guys in the head with one bullet? They recreated that on the TV show. That would theoretically be possible to do. So yeah, those are a couple of the ones that I found rather interesting from watching Hollywood Weapons that were actually plausible that what they did in those movies could be done.
But what about the movie Heat? That seems like they did a pretty good job with the weapons in Heat.
Yeah, Heat, they did a pretty good job with that. Yeah, that's an okay movie. I mean, if it's on and nothing else is on, I'll watch it. Ghost.
Yeah, it's not complete shoot 'em up movie or nothing, but when they have some fight scenes with the police and the bad guy main characters, it's kind of realistic.
Yeah, Ghost loves that movie. You get him talking about Heat and he won't shut up. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. It's not. I mean, like I said, if there's nothing else on, I'll watch it. But if there's a better movie on, I'm not gonna. There's other movies that I'd watch before it if they're on. But yeah, that was fairly. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. Any Hollywood movie or TV show or what have you, they're going to screw something up at some point. I mean, none of them are going to be perfect.
Well, they stole the ending from Bullet. You know what I mean? Chasing the guy through the lawn of like the airport runway and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they straight stole that one.
Yeah, well, there's all kind of movies a copy of. The Magnificent Seven was a copy of a Akira Kurosawa movie, which he made the samurai movies over in Japan. That was the Seven Samurai. He just, they remade it as the Magnificent Seven over here and made it a Western instead of a samurai, feudal Japan.
Have you seen the modern day Magnificent Seven with Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke and I can't remember all who.
No, I haven't seen it. My wife said it's not as good as the original, so
I didn't think it was so bad.
Well, she said it was good, but she said it wasn't as good as the original. But she's a big Steve McQueen fan, so that could be why. Yeah, anything with Steve McQueen in it, she likes, except for the Towering Inferno. She didn't really care for the Towering Inferno that much. But,
yeah, even that's a good one. Everything Steve McQueen did was a good one.
Yeah. Oh, I like the Towering Inferno. So yeah, that was like, remember the show Emergency? It was like that on steroids.
So how long did your wife date Steve McQueen before she met you?
I don't think that would have been legal at the time, Rob. She would have been a little kid when he died. So yeah, that definitely wouldn't have been legal.
Was Steve a Democrat?
I don't think he was.
Oh, okay, yeah, then that was illegal.
Yeah, but he is now.
Yeah, well, once you die, you're always a Democrat at that point. Speaking of Steve McQueen,
Yeah, he voted Democrat. That's right.
yeah, and speaking of Steve McQueen, his show Wanted Dead or Alive was for one of those old black and white westerns was pretty accurate with the guns that they had on there. Even though that show was what created the whole Mare Lake thing, but other things with the guns was fairly accurate. You would see the guys reloading their Colt 45s and Winchesters and stuff on that show.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen him shoot like 12 times before they reload.
Well, depending on what rifle you had, if you had the carbine
No,
or
this
the
is a
full-length
six-shooter
rifle.
pistol.
Oh, the pistol, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, nothing in Hollywood is going to be perfect. It's not like what's the movie? I can't remember what I had. Just had a western pop in my head, and then it went bye. But like the old John Wayne serials. If you watch the old John Wayne serials before he was a big star, before he did Stagecoach from the 1930s, he never reloads. Nobody in those ever reloaded.
Hey, well, I forgot. At least honorable mention. Dirty Harry's a pretty accurate movie because, like, he counted if it was 5 or it was 6.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, because he lost count himself. Well, we've been joined by Squibload. How you doing, Squibby?
Hello.
Hello, Squib.
So we're talking about movies or TV shows that we think were fairly accurate with firearms and their portrayals. We're just throwing them out there at random. So if you come up with anything, just throw it out there.
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
Have you ever watched Hollywood Weapons? We got some things on there you can throw out. I did that already with the First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2. There were actually some things in there that actually were accurate that he could have plausibly done.
Well, now if you're talking about the end of First Blood Part 2, where he one-hands the M60E3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
The first time I did it, it's kind of like, let's see if you can really do this. And
yeah.
It's really not that difficult to do at all.
You know, the rubber dummy targets that they sell on the show, they set up a bunch of those in a field, and Terry Shepard was just mowing those things down with the M60 one-handed.
So at first it kind of kicks real hard, and it's a little bit, the recoil's right there, and then it just smooths right out. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like going over a couple potholes and then being on smooth pavement.
Yeah. Well, another one they tested, they tested ones from the various First Blood movies. I think they did up to First Blood Part 3. Was the one from the first one where he, in the gun, remember the gun store where he makes the trail of black powder and uses the 60 with the tracer from the 60 to ignite the powder and blows up the store? They managed to recreate that on the show too. That actually could be plausible to do.
You'd have to get it just right, though. I mean, we used to set wildfires with tracers, so I mean, they will ignite stuff, but it's got to be right there on it, not near it or.
Yeah, that's why they didn't mark it as being proven, as they put it as plausible, that it could plausibly be done, because it took them 3 tries. Because the powder kept falling in like the cracks, they had to get it just right to where it wasn't falling in the cracks of the floor and whatnot. But once they got it set up, it was able to be done. So that's why they put it as plausible.
Okay, Pale Rider and Hell on Wheels, the cylinder changes with the new model armies. You can do that, and it's that fast.
Yeah, I know. That's why I like the new model army. It's probably my favorite of the old revolvers from the West. that and the conversions of it, because you can do the same thing with the conversions.
With the, what is that, a 75?
Well, no, the 75 you can't, because the 75 the cylinder is fixed in there like what it would be with the 1873. You got to load it the same way you load it with the loading gate. But with the conversions, the 1858s that were factory converted by Remington, you could still swap the cylinders out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, those were good ones. But I actually haven't seen Hell on Wheels. I never got a chance to watch it. I was always doing something else when it was on, and I would mean to watch it, and then something would come up. And I never actually got a chance to watch the show, which sucks. Everybody kept telling me how good it was.
Yeah, we didn't watch it until years after it had gone off air. We watched it for free on Netflix. We just binge watched the whole thing in a matter of weeks. And the acting is good. The story is good. The history is semi-accurate. It's kind of like, yeah, that person really existed, or yeah, this happened at this time or something, but their portrayal is not. It's more dramatic than anything. I mean, that's to help you identify with the characters. Yeah. The guns are not like in the beginning. He carries a Griswold. That's not a Griswold, but that's what they call it. And also, I mean, it'd be highly unlikely that a Confederate officer, unless he deserted or something like that, it would have probably been seized or anything else. Not saying nobody kept their weapons or whatnot, but I mean, if he formally surrendered, he probably formally turned in his weapon.
Right. The way somebody explained it to me, because they knew I watched Deadwood, because that was another one I really liked. They said it was like Deadwood, but instead of being in the town, it was on the railroad.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, the town is called Hell on Wheels, and it's called that because every so many days it picks up and moves further down the track. So you see him get on the train and go off in the distance to go add more track, but the set for the town looks the same like every season, right? It doesn't change. Like they really did pick the thing up, fold up all the tents, move it 20 more miles down the trail, and there's an inaccuracy, you know what I mean? But just the fact that there's the percussion revolvers are in there, and you're seeing some of the limitations these things have. It's still not entirely accurate, but it's good drama.
I got one that's very inaccurate, Rich.
Okay, what's that?
Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Oh no, but that movie is hilarious. I love that movie.
They had bulletproof trench coats.
Yeah, Kevlar. They were Kevlar.
Yeah. And old boy took a 454 round through the shoulder, and all he had to do was say, "Geez, I can't believe you shot me."
Yeah, you just shot me, Harley. Or Harley. The best ones were Mickey Rourke is just shooting that 454 and missing everybody. Don Johnson looks at him and says, "Damn, Harley, you just spent $25 and didn't hit a goddamn fucking thing. I spent $4.25 and took out 5 of them."
Yeah, he said, "I'm like, because all I spent was $1.25."
Yeah, he had.
What do you have? A 1911?
No, he had a Desert Eagle and 44 Magnum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that movie was pretty outrageous on the firearms effect.
Yeah. And those guys are just walking towards them, firing the they had the
bullpups.
They had the Steyr and just one arming those things as they're walking towards them, not even aiming, just spraying and praying.
Yeah, and their long black trench coats was bulletproof. Like the bullets were bouncing off even like at the bottom by their ankles and like sparking every time they got shot.
Yeah. Now, do you remember who played the bar owner?
Big John Studd.
Yep, that was his movie debut, and it might have been the only movie he was ever in. I don't remember him ever being in any others.
You see Mickey Rourke pick him up, put him on his shoulder, spin him around?
Uh-huh.
That was like 4 feet high and 8 feet wide.
Yeah, right. Well, a lot of people don't know this about Mickey Rourke. He actually was an amateur boxer, and he was Golden Gloves at one point in his career. So he probably could have picked Big John Studd up and put him on his shoulders like that. That guy actually had some muscle to him.
Yeah, I think I heard he was like a Golden Gloves boxer or something. He's kind of got that broken nose look.
Yeah, Kingpin throws The Quick and the Dead out there.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I won Rick's trivia question 1 week on that movie. What round was it that Russell Crowe used in his Colt revolver, and it wasn't 45 long Colt?
It was short Colt.
Yeah, he had the 38 Colt. He's yelling to the kid, "Give me
Would
some
that be-
38s! Give me some 38s!"
Would that be like a 38-40?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the blind kid like had a jar of bullets, and he just felled him till he found the short one.
Yeah, because that was when he was fighting the Indian that just would not die. He emptied his revolver into him, and the guy just kept on coming. But then he was using the 38 Colt, which was known to be an anemic round. So I don't even know why a gunfighter would have been using that round, to be perfectly honest with you. That was not a very good round.
And to clarify, that is not the same cartridge as a 38 Special.
No.
People heard about the Moros in the Philippines being hopped up on drugs, and the American Expeditionary Force there was using 38 revolvers against them, and it wasn't stopping them when they were charging their positions. So everybody just assumed, oh, it must be 38 Special. And 38 Special hadn't been invented yet, I don't think.
No, it hadn't.
Yeah. They were using a black powder 38 round
Mhm.
in the 1890s there, and then they decided to pull a bunch of single action armies and 45 Colt out to equip the troops that are over there, I think after the war or what have you. And that's where the whole stopping power thing comes from.
Okay, Kingpin says that Russell Crowe's character was forced to use that round. Okay, I haven't seen the movie in a while. So.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think that was his choice. I think they gave him the gun.
Okay, yeah, because Gene Hackman was making him take part in the that tournament, I guess you could call it.
Never seen The Quick and the Dead.
Oh my gosh, man! You guys need to be like getting a pen and a paper and writing these movies down.
It was actually pretty good. I mean, basically, it was a gunfighter tournament to see who the best gunfighter was. And the problem is, if you lost, you were dead.
Hickok. I mean, younger Hickok, older Hickok was starting to have eyesight issues, right? But I'd say, I mean, if he was in the movie, I don't know. Were they actually having the actors portray historical gunfighters, good or bad, or were they all made up?
No, it was make-believe characters.
No, it was fictional, and like Gene Hackman is he's the top gunfighter, but he's also like the tyrant ruler of the town.
Yeah, he's the town sheriff or marshal and
everything else.
Everything, yeah.
It's like the mob.
Oh,
boss.
he's Little Bill all over again?
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little worse.
Yeah, he's a little worse than Little Bill, but basically the same kind of character.
But that's a good movie. He did a really good performance in that, man. He's got that like real smug, cocky attitude and everything. That's a good movie, man. That really is.
Yeah, Sharon
Even
Stone
Russell Crowe did a good job in that movie, and I'm not real big on his movies.
It had a fairly decent cast. I mean, you had Sharon Stone was in that, Leonardo DiCaprio, Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe, and there were a couple other people. Richard Harris wasn't in that one, was he?
No, that was Unforgiven.
Yeah, that was Unforgiven. See, he brought up Little Bill, and I'm thinking I got Richard Harris on my mind, where he beat the scene where he beats the crap out of him and throws him on the stagecoach and runs him out of town. So yeah, but yeah, there's a fairly good cast to that movie. Another one, Silverado, that was a good one.
Yeah, I like 310 to Yuma. That was pretty good one for a Russell Crowe movie.
Yeah, the original's good too. Have you ever seen the original black and
Yeah.
white?
Yeah, I have, but I kind of like. I always don't really like the remakes that well, traditionally across the board, from movies to music. But I like the newer 310 to Yuma better.
Yeah, the new one's a darn good movie. I mean, it really is, and they did a good job. They didn't change too much. You know, how sometimes they'll do a remake, and you can barely recognize it as being the same movie. You know what I mean? They did a fairly good job. They didn't change too much of it. It was more violent than the original.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool guns too, man. Remember that Mexican sharpshooter dude had that octagon rifle barrel with a like 3 foot long brass scope on it and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they had rifles like that. If you remember, they had one in the One Young Guns movie.
Jason, you finally mentioned one that I actually seen.
310 to Yuma.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe with his Holy Roller revolver with the cross.
Oh, yeah.
It was a gold or silver.
It was Hand of God. It was
the Hand of
it
God.
was the cross. It was
the cross and the grip. I can't remember if it was gold or silver. But yeah, that was pretty sweet too.
And old Charlie Prince, man, had 2 Schofields.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's another revolver I like from that time period to Schofield. I would love to get a recreation one of those, but good Lord, they want a fortune for them.
Out of stock.
Yeah, or they're out of stock. Yeah,
no back order.
Mm-hmm. I was shocked the one time that they had them on a Sportsman's Guide, but my wife's like, "No, you just got a new computer. You're not buying it." It's like, but they only want $900 for it.
Problem with
usually when you find them, they're like $1,300 for the.
Yeah.
You need 2 of them though. See, that's the other problem. You know, one Schofield's nice, but man, 2 of them. Now you're talking. Plus a real nice custom holster to go with it. Oh yeah. So it's probably about like a $3,000 dream.
No, see, I can get Ozzy to make the custom holster for it.
Now, if I'm gonna 2-gun it, I'm gonna go with a pair of Walkers. Although I thought about downsizing and going with a pair of Dragoons.
You can always go with a pair of 1858s in the Remington conversion.
I'll do all right with them just being percussion. I've got that. I've only got one holster, so shit. I should have had him make a left hand. You tell me.
I always wanted one of those vests that holds like 8 guns, like Boondock Saints.
What?
I don't know if I've ever showed you, Jason. Remember the tattoo they had that each of them had in Boondock Saints?
On their hands.
Yeah, that is on
a set of Beretta grips. You get Beretta grips with that.
Yeah, you got the back plate on your on the semi-autos. Yeah, that's on the back plate of my shield.
Nice. Yeah, Squib. I forget the character's name, but he was like the killer they let out of prison. He's like America's biggest killer. But anyways, he wore like a trench coat, and when he whipped open the trench coat, it held like 8 handguns or 10 handguns from the neck all the way down to the waist. He'd just reach in there and grab a gun in each hand, shoot 2-handed. When those guns went empty, he just dropped them and reached in there and pulled out 2 more pistols.
Is that like Banderas's guitar case and whatever that?
Desperado?
No. It had a name like something and something.
El Mariachi, and then there was Desperado. It was a whole series. It was a series.
No, that was something about Mexico.
Yeah, that was part of that series.
Once Upon a Time in
Mexico. Yeah, that was part of the series. It started with El Mariachi, then you had Desperado, and then you had Once Upon a Time in Mexico. They were all done by Robert Rodriguez and his family. That was a series of movies.
Oh yeah, Patch.
Imagine the weight of something like that. Trench coat fully lined with different firearms.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they were all those little pocket guns.
Oh no,
he had 60 of them.
He had like
the weight
stainless revolvers and everything.
Now wait a minute. He had all these handguns in there, but no mags or cylinders or cartridges in any pockets. Just the guns.
No, he was just New York reloading, man.
I was about to say, would that be considered the ultimate New York Reload?
Yeah, Pacifist mentions a good one. I remember Training Day with Denzel Washington. He had this. He carried 2 of those 3rd Gen Smiths.
Yeah, I have not.
Remember,
seen
he was
that.
shooting them all gangster, and then he used 2 of them in together like a hammer and busted that dude's balls with them.
I have not seen that one.
Haven't seen that one. Huh?
I saw that one once, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that's a good movie. That's a pretty
I've
good
seen
movie.
it. It is pretty good.
Now,
Yeah, the cops are pretty crooked, but that's a pretty good movie.
now I have an animated series that we could talk about, but if I do, I'm going to give away the answer to Rick's quiz for this week. Should we talk about it or no? Or should we help people out there and maybe get Rick some love and have people go over there and enter his quiz? What do you think?
Sure.
Sure,
How come I feel like you're the only one on the panel who's seen this animated
Yeah.
series?
Because
I
might
hadn't
be.
had time to look up the question yet.
I mean, if this animated series has a Gallant H90, I'm in. But otherwise, yeah, I just don't. I don't know any of the others.
No. This series has real guns in it,
Oh,
actual real life firearms. That they were the Japanese animators were fairly accurate with. I'm not just meaning that the guys were reloading and stuff. When they would show close-ups of the guns, you can recognize what gun it was they were using. If you know anything about firearms, it's like, oh, they're using that gun. Oh, that guy's got that gun. That guy's got that gun. You know, one of those kinds of things. And it's a cartoon.
They must have done a lot of research because Japan doesn't have guns, right?
No, but they love the gun culture, which is really strange. As far as in
You
their
love what you
movies and
can't
TV
have.
shows.
hey, Jason, Japan doesn't have guns, but I've got 2 of theirs now. America.
Believe there was a lot of people at that Rod of Iron festival that were going up to shoot from Japan. There was a lot of people, all types of excited to go get their hands on a gun, which
Yeah,
was pretty
remember
cool.
the guy was talking about the language barrier?
Yep. That I know what you're speaking of. Yep.
You know, you're trying to give a safety course to somebody who's never handled a gun before and they don't speak English, or there's maybe one person in the group to translate for the whole group. It makes it a little bit difficult, kind of slowed things down a little bit for the people waiting to go shoot.
Ooh, challenging and dangerous.
Yeah, even just getting them to, when to put earplugs in, things like this, all that type of stuff is kind of a challenge when you're dealing with people that are brand new, like completely brand new, and speak a different language. So I'm sure that was pretty stressful.
Man, I just got a set of ear protection, the ear muff kind, goes over your head. And I don't think they block the noise as well as the little orange foam earplugs.
Are they electronic or are they just regular?
No, they're passive. They're from Beretta, but they're made by a company called Preval. They weren't very expensive, but man, I can put them on, still hear the TV. I can hear the chats on YouTube. I just really don't think they block the sound very well. So I think if I go to use them, I'm going to double up. I'm going to put the little foam ones in and then try these on the outside.
I would. The ones I use, those Walker Slims or whatever, they work pretty damn well. I wouldn't, they're kind of loud with an AR in a sense, but not anything that's, I don't think, damaging. Maybe if you were going to shoot a whole lot or indoors or something, then you might want to double up. But as a regular, I think those things were damn well worth the money. I think they were like $50 or something on eBay or something.
These
batteries seem to last a long time, and nobody's going to sneak up on you with those things on. I'll tell you that, at least not in the woods or anything. So it's communication's great.
I was reading a package on it. It says they're like negative 25 decibels. I'd rather have something maybe up close to the 30 some. But then I read the back of the package, and then being Beretta, they're from Italy, and all the specifications and the noise reduction and meets these standards and stuff, those are all under European standards. It doesn't say anything about America. So I was just wondering if like 25 decibel rating is the same here as it is there, but they just don't seem like they do very much. I mean, they're small and they fold up really small, but no, I didn't pay very much. I think I got them for like $19, but I was just hoping they'd be a lot better than they were.
I lost my phone. There it is. All right, I'm gonna screen share this page and show you guys what some of these guns that they had in the show were, because I found a list of all the ones that were in the show. And keep in mind, this is a cartoon, and you can actually tell what guns these are. It wasn't like they were shooting a blob and saying it was a certain gun. They actually were using these firearms. So hold on a second, let me get that pulled up. All right, you guys seeing this? Is it sharing?
No.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop box one on the side there.
Yeah. Like, look over here on the left, going down. This is a list of the guns that were in this show. And the two that they have listed here is fictionals because they were modified. They weren't stock, so they put fictional when they should just say modified. But
I'm clicking on number 11 and nothing happens.
That's because you can't actually click on it. You have to go to that website to do it.
Oh, okay.
Right. Right. You want to see what this one is? Okay, we can look at that. See? You can, if you look, you can, I mean, these pictures aren't the greatest, but because it's a little blurry, but still, but you can tell that is a 1911.
Geez, that's kind of a little inappropriate, isn't it?
Well, it's an adult cartoon. It's not a kid's cartoon. Remember, in Japan, they make cartoons for adults because it's cheaper than making live action TV series with all the special effects and everything. You got a high power there. You can tell that's a Browning high power.
Yeah, you can tell it's not Browning.
Yeah. There's another one. So yeah, you can pretty much tell what guns they were using.
Oh, a little Bobcat.
Yeah. Let's see what this guy was using.
With a square silencer?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that a
No, it's a suppressor.
compensator for?
Yeah, it's a suppressor. This takes place in like 2070. It's like, if I remember right, people are starting to use, humans have developed faster than light travel using gates, kind of like remember Babylon 5, how they had the jump gates that people would fly their ships through to use faster than light transportation. They kind of use that kind of thing in this, and humanity is done colonies on different planets and stuff. By this point, this is the main character right here. He's like he's a bounty hunter, kind of like Steve McQueen in Wanted Dead or Alive.
Fine choice in weaponry.
Yeah, that's not even his main gun. That's just one that he uses every so often. So, no, that is not the answer to Rick's trivia question. So do not put the Beretta 92 FS. That is not the answer.
The Beretta 92 FS is always the answer.
But you see what I mean about how accurate looking these guns are? Here's one Squid should like.
That one's only got one bullet in it.
Yeah, but you see what gun it is.
Yeah, he shoots it once, his hand hurts, he don't want to shoot it no more.
Yeah. He's got Dirty Harry's gun.
Little short barrel.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that?
That's the Mark 23, man. That's the SOCOM.
Where do I file a complaint? Because I can't see any of this.
Well, You're on your phone, so I mean, if you would actually be using your computer.
Yeah, I will say their drawings are pretty accurate.
HK.
Are these like a comic drawings, or is this like a stills
TV
from
show.
a movie? Okay.
There was a TV show, and halfway through the TV show, they did a theatrical movie release over there in Japan.
She's holding the barrel too low right there. Let's see how her front sight blade's taller than the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she doesn't have an accurate grip. Yeah. But I said that the pistols were accurate. I mean, you got somebody who doesn't really know how to use a gun; they just pick one up, and that's a guy, by the way.
Geez, look at the low grip on that one. Terrible.
This was somebody that wasn't very accustomed to firearms. They actually picked up somebody else's and were using it. So
maybe she was aiming low.
That's a he.
Is that Steve Perry?
I can't see it.
Oh,
it looks like Steve Perry from Journey holding that H&K at you.
And you got there's a Ruger P85. And again, while that is the main character, that is not the answer to the quiz.
Careful, that gun shoots with the magazine out of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if I should go up any higher because I might give away the answer to the quiz if I go any higher.
Hey, that's a pretty good looking Ruger, man. With a gray frame on it.
Mm-hmm.
Ruger should still make those.
So, over here, I saw somebody put something in there.
So what's the name of this cartoon?
Cowboy Bebop. It's kind of like Star Wars.
Cowboy Bebop, like B as in boy.
Yeah.
Bebop.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop. Do you like Bebop in Rocksteady?
That's a good series.
Yeah, it is. We're going through the gun, how accurate they had the guns in that, because the animators did a really good job with the guns in this show.
I got it. Cowboy B.E. Bop.
Yeah, B.E. Bop. Yeah, like Bebop. You know, like I said, like Bebop and Rocksteady from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like I said, if I go any higher, I think the next gun up is the answer to Rick's quiz. And nobody has said whether I should do it or not when I ask.
Go ahead. You still got to enter and you still got to draw. It just gives you more enters.
Yeah. I'm not eligible to enter because I'm the one that sent the question in. So. Oh, no, it's not yet. I'm not up that point yet. It's her gun. Okay. Yeah, she's got a Glock.
Man, she got a couple guns on her.
No, she only carries the one Glock.
Okay, she got a couple bazookas on her.
Okay. Heat-seeking missiles. Yeah, that's what she carried, a Glock 30 and 45 ACP, and you can tell that's a Glock.
How hard is it to draw a Glock, though, man?
Yeah, you just draw a block, right? Let me see.
Yeah, you just draw a block and put some finger grooves on it.
This is his would-be girlfriend who, at the final episode, they finally say how they feel about each other. But I'm not going to spoil the rest of that because there's some shit that goes on in that episode.
Just like Star Wars?
No, because they're not brother and sister.
No, the last Star Wars.
No, I haven't seen it. I stopped watching at The Force Awakens. Once they killed Han, I was done.
But he comes back for the last movie.
It got much worse for Rich. It got much worse.
Yeah. And now you got the Walther P99 about the same time that they made that James Bond's gun, ironically enough. This came out in the late 90s, 98, 99. And that's his partner. That's the guy he works with. He's a former cop. And the ship they use is called the Bebop, which is where they get the name. And it's like a space western. So it's cowboy because it's a space western. And then Bebop because the name of the ship that they travel around the galaxy with. But yeah, that's what he carried. He carried a Walther P-99. Yeah, here we go. This one is the answer to the trivia question. So anybody who watches, go over to Rick's Life as I See It, email rickslife@gmail.com, enter his quiz. I'm giving you the answer, guys. You don't have an excuse. Go enter Rick's quiz. Show that old guy some love. He gives away a nice prize pack. I've won a few of them. Go. This is your chance. I'm not allowed to enter, so I can't win. What we have here is the IMI. Specifically, this is the IMI. When they show the close-up on the gun, you can actually see where it says Israeli Military Industries on the left side of the slide. It's on my t-shirt. The t-shirt that I was wearing yesterday, why I said I couldn't show it on camera, because you can read where it says Israeli Military Industries on my t-shirt on the gun. And his had custom grips. This is a laser, kind of like Crimson Trace has the grips with the laser in it. This is the grips that me and Wheeled and Well Armed were talking about yesterday that were on this pistol in this TV series. They actually made a replica, a non-firing replica of this gun. I would have loved to have got one, but I didn't have the money when they were making them. But my local gun shop, the one that's the general store, has these new in stock. They haven't made these things in like 20 years, and somehow they got new ones, brand new manufacturers. I don't know if they're releasing them as an anniversary edition or what it is, but they got they had this exact model in 9mm, which is what he carried in the show, and I want one so bad for that reason, because this is one of my favorite shows of all time right here. If you haven't seen this show, go watch it, and there's the answer for Rick's quiz. Go enter his quiz. Win yourself something nice in the prize pack if you're the name selected. But yeah, you can see it right there. I mean, there's the pistol. And you can see the writing. See where the writing is? That's exactly where that writing is on that firearm. They did a phenomenal. You can see the rifling in the barrel. It's crazy how accurate they got these guns in this cartoon.
Can you see that okay, Rob?
Rob can't see it, but everybody else can.
What's one of those pistols cost?
What's one of these cost?
Yeah.
They were wanting, I think it was $550 for it.
And they're brand new.
Yeah, brand new manufacturer. It was just like this one here at on the top.
Now, is that like did this come out before the CZs, or is this like a takeoff of a CZ?
This is a copy of the Israeli copy of the CZ that originally in the United States was marketed as the Magnum Research Baby Eagle.
Oh, okay, yeah, it is a Baby Eagle without a rail.
Yeah. Well, the original Baby Eagles didn't have a rail either. The original Baby Eagle was just a rebranded one of these. IMI was originally making those for Magnum Research when they first introduced the Baby Eagle, when they were selling them in 9 and 40. That was before they introduced the 45 version of it.
You can get this in 45?
Yeah.
Really?
Magnum Research had the Baby Eagle in 45, yeah. Now, in Israel, these were in 2 calibers. One was 9mm, the other one was 41 Action Express, which was supposed to be a competitor for 40 Smith & Wesson, but it never took off.
Would that 45 one be a double stack?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go searching for one of those.
So anyway, yep, there's your answer for Rick's trivia question. Again, you have no excuse now. Everybody who's watching right now knows the answer. Anybody who watches this on playback knows the answer. If you winner, when's his quiz due?
Got 2 weeks because he
Yeah,
just
you got 2
announced it.
weeks. That's what, the 9th of May? Yeah.
I think he said it was the 8th is going to be his next show.
Yeah, the 8th. Well, no, yeah, but that wouldn't be, would that be 2 weeks? Yeah, the 8th would be 2 weeks. Because yesterday was the 24th. I'm looking at today and going to the 9th. Yeah, yesterday, going from yesterday, you have until the 8th of May to get your answers in, so you don't have an excuse. I just gave you the answer. Go out there, enter his giveaway, win yourself something nice. He throws stickers in there, patches. Sometimes you'll get a hat. I mean, you never know what you're going to get in one of those giveaways. Enter. He sends you some nice swag, folks. So, yeah, and then scroll down some more and see what other firearms we got here, because there's more than that. Look at these. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Jason's favorite one. Look at that. Look at that. I think we started with the Colt, right?
Started with the Colt.
Okay. Well, now you got the Walther P5, an actual real firearm. You got the PPK. Hey, she's got 3 guns, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's packing some heat.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to watch this cartoon.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. Trust me, the cartoon's worth it, man. This cartoon is awesome to watch. It really is. You forget you're watching a cartoon when you're watching it. And you have to.
Okay, just in case I drop out again, I just wanted to say hi to everybody in the panel.
Hi, Pat. Pat, you've seen this, right? You said you saw it. You've seen this show.
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, I've got it on Blu-ray. My oldest bought it for me
it's-
for Christmas a couple years ago.
No, it's a good series. I mean, it's Star Wars meets Western.
Yeah, it's Star Wars meets Babylon 5 meets Have Gun Will Travel and Wanted Dead or Alive.
That's
exactly
perfect.
what it is.
It's perfect. Perfect description.
It's in English, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Dubbed in English.
Yeah, it's not subbed or anything like that.
And when they run out of ammo, you see them reloading. And if they don't have any ammo left for their gun, they find a different gun. The best one, did you see the episode where Faye was in the gun shop and the guy has the minigun outside and he's trying to shoot her and she's just running out of ammo trying to fire back and she's just grabbing gun out of after gun after gun out of the gun case.
Yeah, that's pretty good. She's running around cussing and everything. Yeah, that's a pretty good episode.
I think she fired every gun made at that point. Handgun wise. That was special. I just want to know why that gun shop had all those guns loaded.
Right? Slightly illegal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is on a different planet.
Yeah, you're on a different planet. You're on the outer fringes where they always ran and operated. So There you go.
Did you see the episode where Ein beats Jet in chess and Jet just sits there with a dumb look on his face? For those that don't know, Ein is the dog in the series. Ein is named for Einstein. He's a genetically modified corgi that is super intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, super intelligent but super slow.
Yeah, it's super intelligent, but looks like a regular corgi. He can't talk or anything, but is just really intelligent. And Jet, who is his partner in the bounty hunting business, and the dog are always playing chess against each other. Jet usually beats him, but the one where the dog finally beats him and beats him badly, I might add. Jet just sits there with like thumb look on his face and looks at him, looks at Ein right in the eyes. Ein just gives him the cute puppy face, and Jet says, "You've been letting me win all this time, haven't you?" It's freaking hilarious.
Hey, what's up with this one picture here? Shin points his sig at Spike. Are they like gonna shoot each other right down the barrel there?
Yeah, it was a Mexican standoff. But then they end up having to work together and stuff. So.
You mean
And
an undocumented standoff?
yeah. And yes, there were Colt single action armies in this show. Oh, Jason might find his next girlfriend coming up. But you know what's coming next, don't you, Pat, when we see the Colt 45?
Yes, I do. I'm not going to give it away. Jason's going to go gaga.
You got me on the edge of my seat.
There is nothing holding that shirt closed other than them wanting to be allowed to be on TV in Japan.
You kind of got to do a little more than a cartoon for me, but I do applaud the effort, though.
Yeah, these two were the hosts of the show where bounty hunters would find out who was wanted. So they were always watching this show, so they know who they could go after to try and make some money. And this guy was a bounty hunter who thought he actually was a cowboy.
Is that a hippie with a pot leaf?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Hold it right there, hippie, or I'll blast you.
Yeah, that's actually Spike's partner. That's Jet in disguise. You can tell because of the cybernetic arm. Yeah, Jet's left arm is cybernetic. That's why he's a former cop. He was on the force and he got injured and he lost his arm. Did he lose his leg too, Pat?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he had. Cause I remember he had the cybernetic arm. I was trying to remember if he had the cybernetic leg or not.
Yeah, I think so because I think there's only like 2 episodes where it shows where he gets in a battle and his pants gets tore up and you can see like half the cybernetic leg, if I remember right.
Yeah, okay. And when you see it,
I think that was the first episode. I think was when they were under quarantine.
mm-hmm.
When that thing got loose out of the refrigerator that he left there for
the aliens episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's cool about have you guys ever seen Silverhawks? It was like kind of like in the same universe as what Thundercats were, where they were cybernetic police officers that had wings and stuff. Jet's cybernetics look just like the cybernetics that the Silverhawks had. So, yeah, it's a good show. And Rob left. Bye, Rob.
See you, Rob.
And then, yeah, this was in an episode. Pointing right at the back of the guy's head. You know, you can understand why this guy's freaked out, right? Somebody holding a Desert Eagle to the back of his head. Yeah, if you haven't seen this show, give it a try. I mean, it actually is pretty good. No, they say fictional, but it's modified. It's not so much fictional as it is modified. I don't want to join your newsletter. Who keeps sending messages back and forth?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, see, this one's kind of heavily modified. But then you get to the submachine guns and you got MP5s. Speaking of Speaking of the episode where she's in the gun shop. Another MP5. Mac 10.
Ooh, Mac 10.
Mm-hmm. They have scenes where people are using them with and without suppressors. This guy's got a Mac 10 and an Uzi. That's where she finally just gives up because she knows she ain't getting out of there alive if she doesn't. We got Tech 9, which is a piece of crap. But, you know, the Steyr TMP. I mean, they used a lot of real firearms in this series. They really, really do.
Ooh, that's kind of Uzi-ish.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's the Uzi.
How come we can't have them no more? Is that because of Clinton import bans or something?
They don't make them anymore. But then you got the G36. The G3. Some serious heavy firepower in one. In that one episode in particular we were talking about. And you got the PSG-1 sniper rifle. The same guy that carried the Model 29 used this. That was Jet's former partner on the police force. By the way, they had the M29. And you got the Remington 870 being used by police officer there. And you got the Mossberg Cruiser being used by Spike in the one episode. You got the M79 grenade launcher. And modified other launcher, which depending on whether you see it, it's like, is that what it is, or is it something else? But yeah. Another grenade launcher that was used in the series. A Winchester 1894 that was converted to fire explosive projectiles.
Cool.
This was used by that same guy that thought he was a cowboy that you saw earlier when we were looking at the Peacemaker. Same guy. He actually rode a horse. And he had the rifle scabbard on the horse. And of course, you can't have all this gunplay without hand grenades, right? And then somebody with a flamethrower. That was the Aliens episode, if I remember right. Yeah, this is right here. The one where he had the thing in the refrigerator that escapes, and it's like, well, more like Alien because it was on the spaceship, but you get the idea. It was that kind of story. And you got the M134, which is when she finally decides, I think I better give up. Then you got the one episode where the villains on their casino had M197s mounted outside as security features. And yeah, an anti-aircraft gun. But you can see, I mean, they did a fairly good job with it when they were shooting it with the muzzle flash and everything on them. On that, and when this one, of course, is just fictional. It's a gun inside of a cane. I think we've gone through everything. Well, no, because this is where they list ones where they didn't list before, but you got people using CZ75s and Mac 10s, and all kinds of crazy guns in that show. So, anyway, oops, don't want to do that. So, yep. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a good show.
How's the audio on this new phone? I just got a brand new one, so I'm hoping it's better than the old one.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
All right,
phone
good.
did you
Big.
Yeah, sounds good here.
get? What one did you get?
I upgraded from the Cat S60 to the S61, and I just updated all the software and everything on it. So, and here was the rub. I installed my card into it. It's got an SD card that you can pop into it, and I had all my phone numbers and everything all put in on that one, all the information on that, and as soon as I popped it in, it reformatted and dumped everything. So I have no numbers, no nothing, no contacts. It just freaking dumped it all.
That sucks.
Yeah, I didn't even ask it to do that, and it just reformatting card. I'm like, no, don't do that. By then, it was too late.
Yeah.
So, anywho, yeah, I was hoping this one was going to be a little bit better. It's got about twice everything on it, so twice the speed and everything. So, I'm hoping it works out a little bit better for doing vlogs and stuff like that. So maybe I can do a little bit more of that stuff with better camera and everything on it.
Yeah, so Bernie's out there saying it sounded like somebody flushing a toilet. Anybody else hearing it? I'm not hearing it. So I don't know if it's my mic acting
I heard
stupid like it was last night.
like
Or,
constant vawoosh.
let me see. I don't know if that might be my mic doing that. It's the headset.
I haven't
sometimes.
heard it today.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing like yesterday.
Okay. I saw Bernie out there complaining about somebody, sound like somebody doing a toilet. Let me switch mics and let me know if you still hear it. Bernie, if you would. If I can find where it's at. There it is. Okay. You guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll see if that was the issue again. Sometimes it does it, and sometimes it doesn't. And there's not really anything I can do about it if it does, except change microphones.
Well, I can definitely hear a difference when you switched mics. I mean, it's not a bad difference, but I can definitely tell that the pitch is a little bit higher, and you can definitely tell it's a different mic.
Yeah, right now it's
But it's not bad.
Okay, yeah. Right now, I just switched from my headset mic, which is built into the ear cup itself. It's not one of the ones that comes in front of your face. It's actually just built into there. And then I got, I switched it over to my webcam mic.
Gotcha.
See if that fixes it. Because Buck was saying it sounded like how did you describe it yesterday, Buck?
I said it sounded like a toilet. Oh, you talking about the other mic?
Yeah,
It
yesterday.
sounded like you would get excited and goes real loud and it kind of goes back normal.
Yeah, and Kingpin said something else about, or was it yesterday? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, yes, Kingpin said something too. So, yeah.
Don't listen to these guys, Rich. You be you, brother.
It's a silly MSI thing.
It's past your bedtime, ain't it, Jason?
It was past his bedtime when he joined, Buck.
I get all sleep I need when I'm dead. That probably won't be too far away. Yeah, working for a living's killing me.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get a better mic soon, and you guys won't have to deal with any of those noises anymore. I got to deal with I got to use what I got to deal with. So.
That was Squibby tonight.
MIA.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Mystic. Missed you.
Missed you too, baby.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, geez.
Stacy, you might want to use throat lozenges. Your voice is really off.
Hashtag fake Mystic.
Uh-huh.
How about I just hit him and make him go away? Don't get away from me. I swear
Right
to
in the
God, I will
nuts.
hit you somewhere you will not want me to hit you.
Tasing.
My
Somebody's in
taser
trouble.
is somewhere, and I think it's dead.
So did Snob drive to Gizzard Gary's and buy his old pickup truck?
Yep.
I just drove it down the road. Gizzard didn't even think the thing would start. He
What are
about
you
died when I started it and drove it on the trailer.
What are you gonna do with it?
Oh, probably help a kid out that's needing a vehicle.
Oh, you're not gonna like fix it up.
Don't need too much, really. I'm
So
gonna fix what's wrong with it.
did Gary feed you guys?
No, we'd ate on the way.
Yeah, they had dinner there. It was chicken. But
We did actually have chicken, but it was on the way.
Nice.
Gas station chicken.
Is it an
So
old
did
Chevy?
did you haul back this used truck with your used truck?
Yeah, hauled it back with my Dodge.
Is it a Chevy?
Yeah, it's a 95 Chevy.
I didn't mean a Chevy. Is it a short bed?
No, I did
Ah,
single cab long bed, 2-wheel drive. Not a real sought after vehicle.
There ain't nothing wrong with those. I had a couple. I pulled a lot of race cars with those old girls, and they did me
This
really
one has
good.
the 4.3, so you ain't gonna pull too much with it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
you get rid of that easy enough.
Yeah, no.
Just a short bed's more desirable, man. You can make a pretty neat little street truck out of a short bed.
I tell you what, just told Stacy. I said if it was an extended cab or a 4-door, I'd keep it for a freaking work truck.
Maybe it's got a good body on it.
Yeah, got
just
one cab corner rusted, and the hood. He hit a deer one time, and I know that's hard to believe, and had the hood fixed. And when they painted it, they didn't do a very good job in the clear field.
Just find an old 4x4 that's got a bad body, and just swap the bodies.
Yeah. Wouldn't you? Well, you said it's for some kids, so I guess they're looking for affordability in operational costs. Otherwise, I'd say it's rear wheel drive. Wouldn't you rather have a 4-wheel drive?
Well, yeah. I mean, my truck's a 4-wheel drive, but my work truck's not. I don't really need it that much. It's mainly on the highway.
G23's out there talking about the picture from this morning. You're late, man. We were already talking about that.
Yeah, no, if you give a kid a 4-wheel drive, all he's going to do is go get in more trouble with it. So a 2-wheel drive for a kid starting out is
Well, this
perfect.
isn't a kid starting out. I call him a kid. He's in his mid-20s and got a family. He just needs a.
Oh, well, no, that'll do great. It'll do great because it'll just chug along right on the highway without level 4.3 in there, and it'll get up and down the road just fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with them if you're not using them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys don't have to worry about the snow down there, so.
Yeah, those old Chevys were good trucks around here, but there's not much left of them anymore. Any of them from the 90s around here, man, are just ate up and rusted away to nothing, you know.
Yeah, it's the same here.
Like if you had like a Chevy truck from out west that didn't have any rust on it, I mean, around here it would sell quick, like just for parts. You know what I mean? So somebody take the bed from that. Somebody will want the cab, you know.
I love those old 90s body style Chevy trucks. I mean, that's what I grew up driving, and I just love them.
It's hard to find a truck that's not a king cab. You know what I mean? It kind of really is.
Yeah, my mother-in-law's got the extended cab, king cab one. And hers is a 95. The the Z71 with the 305 in it.
You know, Rob says those 90s GM pickups are easy to work on.
Oh yeah,
Parts are easy to get. They're affordable. He says they're real easy to maintain them.
they're just good trucks. They really are. I mean, like I said, I've owned, Lord, 7 or 8 of them in my life, and
Yeah, those throttle body Chevys, man.
This is a 95
Once you figure out what's wrong when they don't work that great, it's easy to keep them running for years, man. Stuff's
this is
cheap.
a 95, so it's the last year for throttle body.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna get, 300 horsepower out of the thing or nothing, but you can get it to run pretty good. And if you get one that runs really good, where you don't have to drive it like you're pissed off to keep it running or whatever, they don't do too bad on gas, as long as you don't keep stepping on it all the time.
I was really surprised. Gizzard said he hadn't drove this one since about 2000. What do you say, 2014? So sit there all those years, and I just shot just a little bit of starting fluid in there as Braden was cranking it. It just fired right off, and I had to keep it running for just a minute, on starting fluid, and it's running like a champ now. Gotta have the brakes bled.
Nice.
When I got in, the pedal went all the way to the floor, and I got out and checked the brake fluid and didn't have any in it.
So it's got 7-year-old gas in the tank.
Yep. Fired up.
Wow.
Right on.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a nice thing about TBIs or direct inject. Like you get your common rail fuel injection. They are way better on old gas than a carbureted vehicle, as long as it's not so gummed up.
For one.
Yeah, because I hauled a race car 120 miles both ways for 3 years with a 95 extended cab, Chevy long box extended cab. Oh, God. And I don't know how many freaking miles we put on that damn thing, because we'd go 3 to 4 nights a week racing on weekends, weekdays, fair nights all over Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa. Yeah. And I never had a lick of trouble with that truck except for one little tranny leak that we had to pull the tranny out. I had to put tranny seal in on the torque converter. Other than that, that thing ran great up, and it had the 350 in it, loaded down with tools, and a 3,800-pound stock car on trailer. And we'd get out on the interstate. It had the overdrive in it, and I put the conversion on it. The shifter body on it for a harder shifting, so it wouldn't take out the clutches on it. Picked it up for a little nothing, just dropped it in, and fuck. I had that thing for 5 years, and 5 years up and down the road. I don't know how many miles I put on that damn thing, and it just ran like a champ.
Yeah. Oh, DJ's out there saying they used to play Dukes of Hazzard with junkers in the bean fields.
I saw a couple dudes do it once with some nice cars.
Hell, there was a couple guys around here that used to take their race cars out and do stupid stuff, and they wondered why they ran like crap on Friday night.
Of course, it had aluminum running boards on it. The typical old man diamond tread aluminum running boards on the side, which I was already going to take those off because I'm anti those things.
Oh, did you hear that ringing? The 80s called, said they wanted the running boards back.
Yeah, probably. Well, whenever I pulled it on the trailer, I had to back it up and take one of them off. I tore it up. I caught it on the edge of the trailer. I blame Gizzard, though, because I think Gizzard was on that side when I was loading it.
Was that one of those old school Laverne running boards?
I don't know. The old diamond tread.
Hey,
yeah, probably Laverne.
Hey, my dad moved out to Phoenix, where he always has lived. And I helped him move out here from Ohio. And I hauled his 67 Chevelle on a car trailer out to Arizona. And it went on the car trailer here in Ohio perfectly fine. Everything was great. And now it was a rented car trailer from U-Haul. So you just had like the skids on the side, like the tire tracks on the side. It was open underneath the bottom. Just had cross frame braces and stuff. So it went right on there in Ohio just fine. Drive all the way out to Arizona in the heat and the elevation changes, and that the shocks dropped. That car settled lower, and we couldn't back it off of the car trailer because the header flanges were coming down and going to hit the crossbars on the trailer.
Yep, been there, done that with race cars before.
Yeah, the elevation or something changed it a good 2-3 inches.
Yep. We always used to have to do that when we went out to Colorado a couple times with the race car, and we'd have to jack the front of the trailer up to level it out a little bit, so that way the car would roll off the trailer right.
Yeah, we put like board planks down and had to roll back up over it and just barely cleared it.
I saw George today too.
Oh, hi, George Grayson.
He's a big cat.
You didn't like rip Gizzard off or nothing, right? You paid him good money, huh?
Oh yeah, $1 million.
He gave him a swag pack and a blue wrench.
Uh-huh.
No. He paid him. He paid him in knife money.
A high point with a red dot and a buck.
No,
110.
but I did loan Gizzard the Altor for 2 weeks to do a video with it.
You know darn well you gave him the money so you can go get that buck mark.
He traded him one
benchmark
light for it.
Uh-huh.
No. Gary's gonna go get the gold benchmark now.
Gold benchmark? No.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You know what I mean? I'm half asleep. Been up way too long. And Jason has too, by the way. I almost didn't even do it, and I almost fell asleep.
If you think about it, you probably could have traded 1 or 2 boxes of 9mm for that truck.
I don't know if I gave that much. I mean, that's pushing it.
Oh, don't worry about it. I heard ammo's on the way back.
Yeah, it's eventually going to get to where ammo's like stocks. It's up, it's down. You buy low, sell high.
Gary says it looks
I don't want
better.
to sell any. I've thought about it very seriously, though, every time I see the price they're asking for ammo.
Gary, by the way, says the truck looks better without the running boards.
Well, right now, if you look at the passenger side, it looks better without the running board. The driver's side still has it.
I heard Snob took that picture down there. So Gary hanging up for his fireplace.
That would make an excellent fireplace photo.
Mm-hmm.
It would. You should put it above yours.
Yeah. What's it?
What color?
Can you get it done like an oil painting? You know.
Yeah.
Jason, quit sucking up.
It looks like something you would see hanging up in a 1800s bordello when you walked in the front door, and you would go into the parlor there, and you always see in the movies where they have the fancy painting. That would be perfect for that.
That picture's going to give me nightmare for weeks.
The picture as it stands now kind of looks like a thumbnail for a Yankee Marshall video. But if you dressed it up, like I said, like it was a airbrushed or oil painted brush or something, maybe on some velvet or something. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Me and
saying.
Mystic
It looks
are
like
going
one
to
of those.
recreate that picture tonight, so she'll send you a new copy.
You're solo. Sorry.
Yeah, but
I got tripod.
that's what I'm saying. Jason looks like one of those paintings that you would see hanging over the fireplace in the old westerns when they go to the Pat house, and they walk in the parlor, and they got the painting over the fireplace.
It'd make a good family Christmas card too.
Oh yeah,
No.
definitely.
Hey, now don't knock that because we got a brand new. We won a brand new Dodge from a radio station out here, 2018 Dodge, and that's what we did our Christmas picture. Was the kids were all in the box, and me and Mom. It was a crew cab at 4-door. And that's we did our Christmas picture in.
That's not what we're talking about.
Pat,
No.
you did not watch the show this morning. You have not seen the picture. Send me your number on the side chat, and I'll send it to you.
Or go over to Two Live Moves Instagram.
Yeah, or that too.
Well, this sounds interesting already. I will do that, Stace.
But it is
Fair
just-
warning.
Yeah, you've been warned.
Yeah, fair warning. This picture, the only thing I could think of to do with this picture is target practice.
I like how his back's all arched, man. Like he's really enjoying the photo.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have a nightmare for weeks.
You need to get like a Chevy bow tie keychain, put it in your mouth.
Oh jeez.
You know, I actually missed that photo when it was first put up on the chat, and then I heard everybody talking about it when they put it up again. So I went and rewinded the chat. Unfortunately, I kind of watched it twice.
Now, which one is more disturbing? Let's take a poll. The more disturbing picture, that one from earlier today, or the Amy Winehouse one?
Not familiar with the Amy Winehouse one.
You haven't seen Snob's face on Amy Winehouse's body?
Oh, good God. I've already got that pictured in my head and I can't get it out.
Terrible, isn't it?
Now hang out over your fireplace there, Pat.
Well, I'm about ready to see it, so I'm not sure what the hell's going to... I'll probably have a freak out moment here in just about a second.
It's sending. It hasn't quite sent yet, but it's almost there.
That would also make an awesome patch. A patch that you can give away every week. You know, put it on your patch panel, put it on your hat.
Do I want to open this damn thing?
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Oh, God.
Do it. Just do it.
Okay.
Not that bad. Man, if you can handle the cows, you can handle a photo.
And you got to remember, this was on Gary's show. So
The cows are better.
at
I'd
most, it's
rather do cattle
PG-13.
every day, any day.
Oh, thank you, Squibby. Oh, God, here it comes. Oh, Jesus Christ. No! It's wrong.
Told you.
No,
cows are way easier with my shoulder clear in their ass versus this shit.
That's what I thought.
Is that the one where the gloves that go all the way up your sleeve aren't going to help?
No, they do, but as soon as you get to the shoulder, that's when they quit. I mean, you're. Yeah, I'm not going to get too graphic tonight, but
why is it whenever Pat jumps in and we start talking about weird cow shit?
Because it's fun.
Yeah, just to watch you city slickers squirm around a little bit.
I was just thinking, me working 100 hours a week's a hell of a lot better than raising cows.
You might be onto something there.
Honestly, that's only every once in a while. It's just
That's all it would take, man.
You got all these people thinking they've been abducted by aliens and given out alien probes. Meanwhile, it's just Pat drugging them.
You know how many times I've had the hot shot, and I think I could just easily just turn around and accidentally hit Snob with the hot shot.
that would be perfect.
Oh, it would.
How do you think they got that photo?
Oh, they cattle prodded him into that one?
He volunteered.
Okay, well, if y'all don't know what a hot shot is, and I will elaborate for Stacy. A hot shot is a kind of a modified taser on a stick. So that way, if a cow doesn't want to go into a trailer or something, you give them a little shock on the ass, and yeah, they instantly move.
Yeah. If you go back to old WCW,
Unless you get a stubborn one.
Yeah, you
Scott
can
Hall-
melt down.
Scott Hall used a gimmicked one of those on Goldberg.
Yep, I remember that.
What do they do to a person in real life if you hit them with one?
Oh, you jump.
Like, is it worse than a stun gun?
Yeah.
No.
Is it like peeing on an
No.
electric fence?
It's not as bad as the glove.
Yeah.
No, it's not as bad as the
Well,
glove.
I mean, can you immobilize somebody?
No, but if you take both of those prods and you put it firmly against the skin and just nail the trigger and you lay the hammer down on it, yeah, somebody's going to be moving really fast and they're going to run the 40 in about 4 seconds.
In other words, you're going to get your ass up on that trailer.
Yep, exactly. You're getting loaded.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare it to some of the, if we're talking about the cheap ass stun guns you buy in the local gas station, those are nothing. Those have nothing on the hot shot.
But these aren't lethal. It's just
Yes.
short.
It doesn't
short
feel
dose
very
of
good.
pain to give you incentive.
Yes, that's all it is. But if you lay on the trigger and just keep it hammered, yeah, you're not going to want to stay around it at all.
Sounds like they should issue these to the Minneapolis Police Department.
Yes, they should.
Or was that too soon?
No, they need to give them the
No.
gloves. That they need
No.
the
That
glove.
would be
Just
perfect.
grab them, knock them out, and throw them in the car.
Well, actually, they need a cattle trailer so that we can just start throwing everybody in there.
Yeah, that would work too. You know, hook up a cattle
That's
trailer.
my 2 cents.
I had
Yeah.
to go between two military bases in one of them things. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's how we went from reception to
In a cattle trailer?
battalion. Yeah,
So we didn't have a pool for training on at the Marine Corps depot, but next door at NTC at the Navy Training Center they did. So when we were doing our swim quals, they'd load us in the cattle car and have a single action international tractor hook up to it and drive us around the corner there. You know, we had to get up on the freeway and do the roundabout and all that, what have you. And that was bad. We had to do it twice a day for a week, and that was enough. I don't ever want to go around like that ever again.
They didn't
Well,
have a
no.
bus.
no. when
You
I
know
was
that
a-
that's the thing. We went up to Camp Pendleton, which is over an hour north. That was in a bus, but because NTC was next door, I mean, I'm thinking, can't they just march us over there? Just put a gate between the two or something. But I don't know the freeway layout in San Diego. But we pulled out of the base, got up on the freeway for a short time, and then went over there, and then they bring us back.
Okay, it had the drop ramp and everything in the back where you actually loaded in the back.
This was like a lowboy type trailer with the cage on it, and it was a short trailer. I'd say it was like a 42 foot or 48. I mean, not a 48 foot trailer. It wasn't a full 53, but it looked like a cattle car to me. That's what we called them. And these are things I've seen them in the motor pools, so they must be used for more than just transporting around recruits.
Yeah, we had them
Okay.
at Benning. When I went
Becker?
to basic at Benning, it was the same thing. When you left the 30th AG that's Adjutant General, for those that don't know what that is. The 30th Adjutant General Battalion Reception, which is basically Reception Battalion for Fort Benning when you're going for basic training. When we went from there to Sand Hill, which is where I went for basic training, we were loaded on a cattle trailer.
Jesus. Was it a double decker or just a single level?
Single. There was no. Yeah, there was,
okay.
And we just stood there. Okay. We just stood in this thing. There was nothing to hold on to except the
sides.
The sides. Yeah, I mean there was
the slots in the side.
Mm-hmm. You were surfing, trying not to fall over when they took a bend.
And I mean, it wasn't that far, but it was a lot of on this ramp, off this ramp, on and things like that. And it was bizarre. It was they told us that some of the stuff that we were doing was to get us ready to be prisoners of war. I guess this kind of fit into that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that would probably feel a little bit like that because there's single level and then you got the double level cattle haulers, and that would probably feel a little bit like prison.
Now, they weren't hauling livestock around in these, so they didn't smell like cow shit or anything. If that's if you're picturing something with rust and it stank and there was all kinds of filth in there, no, it wasn't that. But otherwise, though, it's just kind of a bizarre way to travel.
Well, if they really wanted to get you ready for being a prisoner of war, they should have hauled at least one load of cattle in it and filled the traps down in the bottom full of cow shit. So that way it would have just ruminated straight up through the bottom. So that way you knew
what to jump in the Navy's pool, and they didn't want a bunch of Marines filthing it up. So yeah, that wasn't going to work.
I'd say don't train me to be a POW. Train me to be a guard.
The thing is, if you can survive some of the things they put you through, you're going to have the mental fortitude if you do get captured to resist your captors, try to escape if you can, and to hold on until you can get released. So it's one of those things that you don't want to happen. It's one of those things I definitely was not about to let it happen to me. I was going to have to get knocked unconscious and wake up in a cage somewhere. But still, some of the things I don't want to go to prison, like, state, federal prison, but I could survive there. I wouldn't have a problem surviving there. I just don't want to lose my freedom. That's all. So, I mean, it's that sort of, I guess, they get you ready for that, like something like that.
They get you ready for the mindset of that.
Yeah.
Or mentality.
The hopelessness, the fear of the unknown, the fear of what's next, the hopelessness. You're hungry, you're cold, you're tired, you're being denied sleep. You're not, have no contact with the outside world. You have no idea what's going on. You might be able to see or hear things around you, but that just makes it worse because you just, we're right next to an airport, and every plane that takes off, you just want to be on that plane. You don't care where it's going. You just want to be on, and stuff like that. Just the way that you had to eat your food, the way that you were in tight spaces, in cramped spaces with a bunch of other people, the way you had to wash your clothes, if you could wash your clothes at all, just things like that. That was, without killing us or making us sick intentionally or starving us to death or whatever. Some of that was just along those lines. So it's just part of the training.
Gotcha. Well, just in case, one of those deals, I guess.
Well, you had the guys that were like, the first time they had to eat a cold meal, they refused to eat. Well, that didn't last long because you get hungry fast. Or the first time you got to eat that crappy government food, I was used to that stuff. So I ate as much as I could, but there were guys that just flat out refused to eat until they got so hungry that they overcame it. And that's sort of, you've got to get over that limitation you set in your mind, Right.
Okay. Well, what was the worst MRE that you ever had?
Probably the ham slice. Probably. Maybe the tuna casserole. Yeah, that one kind of tasted like plastic.
I was gonna say the tuna. I couldn't eat the veggie omelet, so I dodged that bullet.
Yeah, no, see,
Yeah,
we ate
actually,
the omelet, but it wasn't a veggie omelet, and that one did taste like plastic too. But I don't think it tastes as much as plastic as the tuna. And you know what? Okay, so the MREs, we always ate them cold, but later on we had access to the heaters. So it's this plastic bag with this thing that looks like a cracker in it. And there's a line at the bottom of the plastic bag. You pour water up to that line. If you pour it past the line, it's not going to work. If you have it under the line, it's not going to work. You've got to have it to the line. And that cracker starts to mix with the water, and it starts to boil the water. And you take the MRE and you slide it in this bag, and the manual shows you just find a rock or something and put it at a slight angle, like a 30-degree angle, and just let it set in there and heat up your food. That chemical reaction stank so bad. I have no idea. These guys that were so used to mom's cooking and all this other horse shit, they would heat up their food because they couldn't stand to eat it cold. I couldn't stand the stench. It smelled like a sewer. So it's like, do you want to eat hot food that smells like ass? Or do you want to eat cold food and at least it doesn't smell bad? But I guess everybody's got their standards.
We just ate them cold.
Yeah, I was like, no, you can have my heater. Yeah, no, I don't want. Ugh.
Now, what was your favorite?
Pork with rice and a spicy barbecue sauce.
We didn't have that one. I didn't mind the hot dog, the beans and weenie one. That was pretty good. The chili mac was pretty good. But anything that was made with tuna and those things, oh my, it was like eating vomit. I mean, it looked like you were eating vomit.
You know, I heard eggs were pretty nasty.
People take these things camping, so you know.
Well, they're getting the newer ones too. I mean, I haven't had a MRE in over 20 years.
So they come in a case with 12 MREs, one of each kind, and every couple of years they change them up. So the stuff that we had, the kids today, they don't have that stuff, and vice versa. And I mean, before MREs, everything came in a metal can for the most part. So that was weight. You couldn't store it as long, and it weighed more. So to lighten it, they vacuum sealed it in plastic and foil and things like that. And that's where they came up with that. I've eaten some of the old sea rats because I'm that old. I mean, not when I was in the service, but when I was a kid. That stuff was still current issue. I didn't think they were that bad, but I can eat all that crappy food. Man, I've been hungry so many times in my life. I'll eat pretty much anything. And there's some things that maybe I won't, but it's just because they don't taste like anything, like cantaloupe. Yuck. It tastes like nothing.
Yeah, it's like the salted pork that you used to get at the food banks in the early 80s. That was basically what that was the damn sea rats.
Yeah, but that's the same stuff they sold us in the commissary.
Yeah.
Right.
Had
Well,
those blue
and that's
USDA stamps on the fat on the side of the piece of meat.
Yep. Well, and a lot of those World War II sea rations and stuff where they had the salted pork in the tins and stuff, you can't hardly find them anymore because they've rusted straight through the cans and they've just blown out because they were so full of salt and the inside of the can wasn't lined with anything and it just literally ate the freaking can clear apart. What were you going to say, Buck?
I heard the eggs were pretty nasty.
Yeah, I never had the misfortune, so I can't personally.
It was compressed scrambled eggs, fake compressed scrambled eggs in a flat rectangular dark green, olive green bag, and it had a little tab at one end, and you pulled the tab to pull off one side of the bag, and you could kind of push on it a little bit to open it up. Then you take this long brown plastic spoon and you spoon it out in chunks. You could put salt on it. You could put Tabasco sauce on it. It tasted a little bit like scrambled eggs, but there was that chemical aftertaste, and a lot of guys couldn't stomach it, but I could eat 2 or 3 of them.
So it's like eating powdered eggs, is what you're saying.
No, we had the powdered eggs on board ship, and I worked in the ship's galley for a month, and those powdered eggs tasted better than the omelet MRE. But once again, when you're hungry, I guess if I was hungry enough, I'd even eat cantaloupe.
Yeah, see, when I was in, they were starting to do that cheesy veggie omelet, and thanks to food allergies, I never got the displeasure of having to eat one of those. The red tag on my dog tags came in handy. There were certain MREs I didn't have to try and eat.
Well, I can tell you from some of the ones that I've got in store and some of the freeze dried stuff that I've got downstairs, which isn't bad. I mean, it's fairly tasty. I mean, a little bit of salt and pepper on some of it, and shit. I mean, it's not bad versus some of that stuff from back in the day, because I've had some of that old stuff and I was like, oh, yeah. I don't know how the hell they did it.
Yeah, for you guys that don't know, when you go in the military, when you get your dog tags, if you have any kind of allergy to anything, you get a red tag that says what you're allergic to that goes on your dog tags. So that red tag saved me from having to eat some of what have been described as the most nasty of the MREs because of food allergies.
Oh, another quick question. Squib, how's the truck still running?
I guess you'll have to speak up.
Oh, I was going to say, Squib, just a quick question. How's the truck still running? He must have stepped away for a second.
Yeah, if he's working, that happens from time to time.
Yep.
I don't know if he's at work or if he's off this weekend.
You got him all hungry, man, talking about MREs and stuff.
Yeah, he had to go grab a quick he had to go grab a quick
chicken sandwich.
No, cheesy veggie omelet. MRE.
No thanks. Okay, so Rich, since you had some of that, could you eat the PB&J while on the crackers and stuff then?
Oh, yeah, the peanut butter and jelly on the crackers weren't that awful. Now, the crackers we had probably different than the crackers Squib had, because like you said, they update them every so many years, and as they come out with new food technologies, they'll update them to something that's going to be able to stay fresher on its shelf life and everything. So the cracker that they have now is not going to be like the cracker I had. It's not going to be like, what I had wasn't like the cracker Squib had. So it's like, so to compare what I had to what Squib had, the generation MRE I had would be a generation removed from what he had. So it was slightly different.
Okay, well, I just didn't know if it tasted like a shortbread or what it tasted like.
No, it's like a saltine. The ones
okay.
we had.
All right.
Oh, those big crackers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say if you've ever had stone wheat thins, they taste more like that, except a little bit more bland.
Yeah, the ones we had were more like a saltine. Now, when I was in high school, the ones we had when we went on the FTXs with Pitts Junior ROTC, they were the crackers like what Squib described. And those weren't as good as the crackers we had when we were eating the MREs when I was in basic. But again,
yeah, but that's what they had. They had the little packet of either cheese spread, which was about the most bland, pasty cheese, whatever it was that you could put on there, or you would have jelly. They had like apple butter, I think, or what was the other one they had that you could? I'm trying to remember. They had cheese, they had jelly, they had something else you could spread on the peanut butter. That peanut butter.
Yeah, it was the government peanut butter. I tell you what, that peanut butter, if you ever get a can of the government peanut butter, that makes some of the best peanut butter cookies you'd ever want to taste. My brother used to use that in peanut butter cookies, and oh man, they were the best peanut butter cookies ever.
I cannot stand the smell of government peanut butter because they took a bunch of sheets and sewed them together to make a long tube, and they filled it with government peanut butter out of the ship's galley and some sort of foul liquid. I really don't know what it was. And I had to crawl through that on my hands and knees for initiation. It's called shellback, when you cross the equator. And while I'm crawling through this tent with this government peanut butter that is just filling my nose with this foul stench and this fluid, the whole time they are kicking me in my ribs with steel-toed boots. When I made it out the other side, I swore I would never eat government peanut butter again.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can see that happening. That's
So
also
what
some of
you're
the stories my
saying
uncle would tell when he was in the Marines.
like peanut butter.
Did I ever tell you how my uncle avoided going to Vietnam?
Well, fill us in.
He got sent to Germany or something instead?
No, he was in Okinawa. And him and his buddies, they were getting ready to get shipped over to Nam. And they went out for one night, last night on the town in Okinawa. They went to a Japanese restaurant, blindfolded my uncle and dared him to eat what was in front of him. So he ate it and promptly ended up in the hospital because they gave him octopus and he was allergic to iodine. While his buddies were shipping out, he was in the hospital in Okinawa.
Ouch.
And yeah, he didn't end up over in Nam. They kept him there in Okinawa for the rest of his enlistment. And they ended up putting him as a stockade guard or something. I forget what he said it was. It was a guard of something. I think it was the stockade. I don't remember for sure. But yeah, that's how he avoided going to Nam.
Yeah, because if they have so many people they're going to send and somebody ends up not going for whatever reason, they're missing, they're injured, they're whatever, they'll just grab somebody else and go, now you're going. And once that person goes, they don't go back later and get the first person and go, all right, you guys trade places. No, that's the way they do it everywhere.
Okay. Well, the question before you dropped out there for a second, I was going to ask, how's the truck running, Squib?
The Dodge or the Chevy?
The Chevrolet.
I'm in it right now. I'm going to pick up my kid from the movie theater. That's why you see two of me. It's doing fine. I actually got it up to 30 miles per gallon on the highway. So the engine's breaking in. It's doing fine. I've actually been working on the old truck, trying to get that one in a condition where I can take it out and drive it around. It's getting closer.
Oh, what was wrong with the Dodge?
There were multiple breaks in the electrical going to the fuel pump, and that was actually causing low voltage to the fuel pump due to all the resistance from the corrosion where the brakes were. And the fuel pump was running, but at low pressure, so the truck it didn't have very good power, spitting out white smoke, and it even had a few situations where it just decided to just up and quit running. So I put it in storage until I could get to it, deal with it, and once I resolved that issue, then I started finding other problems with it. So my thing was, at a certain point, you can have a truck that you like, you can have a truck that you're not making payments on and all that other stuff, but I got to get to work. And when I go out there and it doesn't start, and it does that consistently over a course of a couple of years, You know, and at a certain point, I got to go, I'm spending as much to fix this thing as I would to just make a truck payment. So that's why I bought the truck last year. But now I got to fix the thing anyhow just so I can sell it. I just don't have to fix it as good as I would need to in order for me to call it a daily driver. I mean, the thing was costing me $5,000 a year or more just in repairs, let alone everything else. And it's a damn good truck. I love that old truck, but it's old. It's what, 17 years old? It's almost 17 years old. So it's time to go.
Gotcha. Was that one picture that you showed me of that Dodge sitting outside? What was it? Month and a half ago?
Yeah, it's a 1-ton Ram with a 5.9 high output, 6-speed manual. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those were good trucks. I mean, I've messed around with enough of those, especially with the 6 speeds. The only thing you had to worry about once they got enough miles on it, especially if a guy was doing a lot of pulling, on the top shifter rack, on the top, the nut on the back side would come loose, and you'd lose 4th and 6th gear on those damn things. But all you had to do to fix it was take off the tail shaft, and you could put the nut back on, tighten everything back up, and in the service bulletin, all you had to do was put a tack weld on the nut and the shaft, and boom, it was fixed. That was the actual service bulletin.
Well, I just noticed in the chat that G23 about 15 minutes ago said that Midnight was getting ready to go live. So, well, even though we're having a good conversation, we're going to have to start wrapping this up. I think we had a pretty good show tonight with some good discussion about movies and TV shows and guns that were used, including one animated series that did a fairly decent job with the firearms. And then somehow we got talking about cows and cars. But yeah, that's par for the course for this show, right? I mean, you're all veterans of the show, so you guys know how this show works. But yep, so that we're going to start wrapping things up. So you got anything you want to say before we get out of here, Stacy?
Not really. Snob. Anything you want to say?
Love you, Jason.
Jason may have fallen asleep.
No, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah,
Just remember, I love you more, Jason.
Oh, I know you do. Snob's just playing me.
I know. He's just weird.
Alrighty. What about you, Jason? Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, thanks for the invite, man. Good to see everybody. And everybody hopefully have a good week coming.
You going to try doing a show this week, or are you still going to be working your ass off?
Depends on my work, man. We'll just see how it goes. I can't make any promises because I really don't know what's going on from day to day.
Yeah, no
But
problem.
I miss doing the shows. I'll get back to it. I'm just working so hard and so beat down when I get home.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because I don't know if your schedule's going to be lightening up, if you've gotten how close you are to getting caught up or anything. So
The only thing good in my future is if I get like a smaller house to do or something. That's about as good as I can get.
Or win like the Powerball or something.
Psh, I'd still work, man, because I'm just not meant to be lazy.
Oh no, you don't have. You can still work, but just don't have to work as much. You know, because you can be working for yourself instead of working for somebody else, and do your own contracting thing here or there when you want to. You know, so it won't be quite as the same schedule as what you're doing now. So, what about you, Buck? Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Just thanks for the invite, and I'm glad to see everybody on the panel get to talk to them again. And everybody out there in the chat, stay safe.
Yeah, Moo's out there. That some bitch had a link, and he stays out there in the chat. I see how it is, Moo. I see how it is. So you could have came in here, and you could have showed Pat that snob as Amy Whitehouse? No, you didn't. No, you had to stay out there in the chat. I see how it is.
No, the other one was disturbing enough that I don't need to see the Amy Winehouse one. No.
Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No.
Send it
Yeah.
to him.
No.
Yeah.
Now my wife is saying, send it to him. Send it to him.
Pat, you know that you're going to print out that picture and you're going to hang it right there by your bed. So it's the first thing you see when you go to bed, the first thing you see when you wake up.
How about no?
You know you're going to. Don't lie.
No.
See now why Stacy's
No.
Stacy's telling you to do that because she wants you to have a morning sickness simulator.
Can your wife hear me? Because if she can hear me, she needs to do that and put it up there on your side of the bed.
Oh, she can hear you. You're on loudspeaker. She can hear you.
Okay, well, she needs to do that.
Puppies and hide them in random places.
Yes.
She said
do that. Please.
Stacy, please do not encourage my wife. I already have enough problems in my life.
Now, see what your wife needs
She said
to
she
do.
already likes you, Stacy.
Here's what your Pat,
No, you
Pat's
two would
wife-
get along great together. Trust me, Stacy.
Pat's wife. What you need to do is take his truck to the local mechanic that does the repairs on airbags when somebody has an accident, and have this picture put on his airbag. So if he crashes, that's the first thing his face comes in contact with.
Right, but it's my truck.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the brand new one. No, and if it's my work truck, the airbags have already been deployed because my brother put it into a pole. Then he had to rebuild it, and yeah, it's just like a race car. It's no airbags, no. It's
Okay.
1950s race car.
What you need to do then is when you're out of town somewhere and the truck's still sitting there, take your work truck, have the airbags repaired without telling you, and then if you hit a fence post or something while you're out doing whatever you're doing with it that day, your face goes right into the picture of Snob.
You know what, man? If I was Snob, I'd take that photo and have me like a car wrap. I'd do like the tailgate of my truck, and I'd have them add the caption "Rebel Yell."
Okay, y'all a bunch of sick fucks. I'll put it out there right now.
Would never ride in that truck ever again.
No,
I mean the whole tailgate.
I'll burn it to the ground.
No. So you got to take it one step more. At the top, above the picture, it says "with the Rebel Yell," and underneath it says "more, more, more."
The license plate could be more.
No. How about no? No at all. No. I'm gonna unsubscribe to a bunch of y'all.
Oh, you won't unsubscribe to me because you love me.
Yeah, I know. I won't unsubscribe to you, Stacy. You're all right, but it's everybody else.
Add the caption.
Y'all a bunch of sick, twisted bastards.
I gotta say, I hope boss is happy with his decisions.
You could add the caption. Try to dodge the ramp.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
All right, before we go any further off the
Jason,
rails,
you hit the nail on the head right there.
before we go any farther off the rails, Squib, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I don't think there's anything I can add to this train wreck.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right.
In the midnight hour.
Yeah. Pat,
Finer words never said by Squib.
Get yourself under control now. And is there anything you want to say before we get out of here that doesn't have to do with the prior topic?
Well, I would like to say thanks for having me on, but I'm going to regret that. So, anyway, no. In all honesty, thanks for having me on, Rich. And yeah, you're all sicker than me with my shoulder deep in a cow, and that's it.
Alrighty. So I guess that's where we're going to leave off for this week. Pat talking about doing strange things to cows again. This is a trend.
I'm saving lives. I'm saving calves. So
He's a cattle EMT, folks.
no, yeah, I can be a vet if I need to be.
So, and on that note, we will bid you adieu for this week, and we will see you all later on. Throw out your taglines if you got one.
Sign says exit only.
Stay safe. Carry your weapon.
Be careful, everybody.
And we are done.
I so